What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to JD's Nerdverse. We're doing a prediction video today for Lapras, the transport Pokemon. Water Ice type, pretty cool Pokemon, pretty good stats. Let's go ahead and go over their stats real quick. So the HP for this Pokemon is 130, the attack stat is 85, defense is 80, special is 95, and speed is 60. So our worst stat is our speed. 60 is actually not too bad though, so I'm not going to be too upset about that. We can find ways to get around that with just having good attacks and stuff like that. Make sure things are one shots, and also we can do some carbs up our speed. So that's not something that's like horrible. 130 HP is very good because that means we can take a lot of damage, and we also have good defense and good special, so we won't be, we're not like, vulnerable in some spots. Our attack at 85 is going to be great with some of our moves, but our special at 95 is going to be fantastic because we start with a special move anyway, and the end game has pretty much all special moves except for one, and the attack stat will cover that. So all in all, exceptionally good stats with this Pokemon. Let's go and go on to the moveset for this Pokemon. So the level up moveset for Lapras starts off with a really nice move, Water Gun. It's not really a great move in general, but the fact that it's 40 base power and 100% accurate, and with Stab it's 60 base power, and the first gym is Brock, where he's weak to water, and we'll probably one-shot him no matter what level we're at. It's fantastic. The only thing we're going to have issues with early is facing our rival with a grass type, but we also have Growl that can lower his attack, so that'll be pretty simple. Now level 16 we get Sing, which can put the opposition to sleep. Probably not going to use that too much because it's kind of like it's a cheesy strategy, and the accuracy on Sing is horrible anyway, so it's not very reliable. So I probably won't use that very long, but it will be on our moveset nonetheless. Mist is a move I won't use. It basically prevents us from getting any status conditions. Body Slam, 85 base power, 100% accurate. We get this level 25. It's very good to have. It can paralyze the opposition. It works very well with our attack stat and our mass, so very good. Level 31 we get Confuse Ray, which is 100% accurate, and it'll confuse the opposition. I probably won't use this because we'll have other moves we can use, and this Pokemon has too good a moveset to use like confusion strategies and singing strategies. If it's all we had and we didn't have other options, I'd go with it, but we got other options. We got options. You go with the option that give you coverage, not the option that give you unreliable strategies. So at level 38 we get Ice Beam. It's a 95 base power move, 100% accurate, but because we are Ice type, it is Stab. So we're looking at about 100 and what's that, 140 some base power move. So very powerful, very strong. And Hydro Pump at level 46 is the last move we get, 120 base power, 80% accurate. With our Stab, it makes it 180 base power. I don't like using this move. It's very unreliable. I know when the opposition uses it doesn't seem that unreliable, but anytime a player uses it, it is very unreliable. I've used it in the past, and Surface is more reliable if I want to use a water move that late in the game. So that's our level up moveset. Very good level up moveset if we're just playing through with our level up moves and not using TMs. However, we do use TMs, and there are a lot of TMs we can use with this Pokemon. Let's get some garbage ones out of the way. Toxic and Horn Drill won't use. Body Slam, we won't actually be getting the TM because we'll get it via level up, but it's available to if we want to pick it up and maybe delete a move in the future and re-add it back if we need to. But yeah, Body Slam's definitely a good move. Takedown, Double Edge are not going to be used in this playthrough. Double Edge maybe if we get in some trouble in Elite Four because it's a little more powerful than Body Slam. Just that recoil is just kind of horrible. But I don't usually use Double Edge unless I'm forced to. Like if there's not another option for a damage dealing move, yeah, Double Edge is definitely a way to go. Bubble Beam is 65 base power, 100% accurate. So Water Gun is what we start with, so we don't need the TM for Water Gun. However, once we beat Misty, we can upgrade that move from a 60 base power move with Stab to a 98 base power move with Stab. Bubble Beam is very powerful, 98 base power with Stab. And yeah, that'll get us through a good portion of the game. Ice Beam, we get that after we get out of Rock Tunnel, 95 base power, 100% accurate. So any moves you see like Bubble Beam, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, pretty much most of our moves are going to play off of our special attack. So our special helps these moves be even more stronger than just being the moves they are, and the type coverage, and the Stab, and so on and so forth. So yeah, our special stats really going to help these moves be more powerful. Hyper Beam, we would use it if we didn't have any other options, but we have plenty of options, so I'm not going to go ahead and go through Hyper Beam. Rage, kind of pointless where you get it. Wouldn't be bad early, but it's kind of pointless where you get it in the game. so I'm not going to use it. Same with Solar Beam, same with Dragon Rage. All three of those are not going to be used. Thunderbolt, however, will be used. Thunderbolt will give us some great type coverage against like Flying type and Water type. 95 base power, 100% accurate, and it works well with our special stat. So very good move. Thunder is very powerful, 120 base power, 70% accurate. And because of that 70% accuracy, I will rarely ever use this move unless I'm desperate. And I don't think we need to be desperate with this Pokemon. Psychic, 90 base power, 100% accurate. With our special, it works very well. The rest of the moves here, I'll go over them pretty fast, but we won't use pretty much any of them. Mimic, we'll probably be using Elite 4 for the badge boost. Double Team, Reflect, Bide, Skull Bash, Rest, Psywave, Substitute, Surf, and Strength will not be used. I would use Surf if we didn't have other options, but I'd rather have a lot more of the type coverage than to have one powerful stab move that doesn't work against anything really well in the Elite 4. So, for example, Body Slam, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Psychic looks like our end-game move, and Surf, what would that replace? So if we replace Ice Beam, now we can't hit dragons. If we replace Thunderbolt, now we can't hit any water Pokemon or flying type. If we hit Surf for Psychic, now we're going to have problems against Bruno and Agatha because we don't have a great move to deal with them. So that's why Surf isn't very good. Yeah, that's the level up. The level up in TM moveset. Let's go into the prediction or the rules of this playthrough, and then we'll get to the prediction. So the rule of this playthrough is you can only use Lapras in battle. Can't use other Pokemons for battles or anything. No running clock. It's a running clock with 3 exceptions. The 3 exceptions are Lieutenant Surge's Gym, one is Celadon City, and the last one is if you need to go to Rocket Game Corner to buy something, we can pause timer for that. No glitches or exploits allowed. You can't use the badge, or we can use the badge boost glitch, but we can't use the Missingo or the Pokédoll glitch. Okay, and the last one is no items in battles. I've kind of warped around one, which was the rule about ethers. Ethers can be used because it's just about power points. It's not about like gaining health in the middle of battle or anything. It's just about replenishing power points. Because I am playing through this and doing a lot of stuff at once, like watching YouTube, and sometimes I'm also editing videos while I'm playing through. So yeah, sometimes I get distracted and I miss out on the power points, and it's just to counter my negligence. The Pokemon shouldn't be punished for that. And while you're here, please hit that subscribe button. This is a one-man show. I do the playthrough, I do the editing, I do the voiceover, all of it. Just one guy, works about 50 hours a week, has a wife, 2 kids, 2 cats, and yeah, and I do this all by myself. So you liking and subscribing and commenting really lets me know that you're appreciating the work I'm putting into this to put out some content for people. And also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Let's go back to the first slide. So there's not a lot of weaknesses with this Pokemon. I mean, you might say speed is a weakness, but with all the other things that work well around it, I don't think speed's that much of a weakness. So if we're not as fast as someone that can hit us first, we have good coverage when it comes to defense and special defense. So it's not a hindrance for us. Where this Pokemon does have kind of a disadvantage, which for most Pokemon it would be a huge disadvantage, for this one it's a subtle disadvantage, is we are in what's called the slow level up group. Now, we start with Water Gun. Water Gun's going to obliterate Brock. It's going to obliterate a lot of things early because it's stab. The only thing it's not going to obliterate early is our rival fight, but all you got to do is deplete most of our power points and we'll be able to obliterate him as well. He's only going to have a Bulbasaur, so by then we should be a high enough level where Struggle should be a good enough strategy, and with our high HP anyway, Struggle is going to be a very decent strategy for that because we're going to have a lot of HP to work with, so we can take recoil and not feel it as much as we would with other Pokemon. But that slow level group can be an issue, but I don't think with this Pokemon it will be a grand issue. So what do I think this Pokemon is going to end up getting this playthrough done at? I think it's going to get done in about an hour, just under an hour. Although we are slow, all the other things about this Pokemon add up to being very good. Okay, great stats, except for speed. Great moveset, great coverage with that moveset. So the only question is are we going to be at a good enough level that all those moves that we're using are going to be effective or not? That's really the question. However, that's why we do the playthroughs, to figure out where and when and how and why like the Pokemon does do well or doesn't do well, and where does he struggle, so on and so forth. But that's it. That's my video. Can't really think of anywhere he's going to struggle other than Lieutenant Surge maybe. Erica won't be a struggle. We'll have ice moves by then, and we'll have stab, and we'll have psychic, so we can deal with the poison type too. So all the gyms I'm looking at, none of them seem to be too much of an issue now when I'm thinking of it. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. How long do you think this will take? Like I said, I think it's going to take between 55 minutes and an hour. I think I can get it done. Based on what I'm seeing on these stats, there's nothing I see that's going to be a grand problem for this Pokemon. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. The playthrough will come out Friday, so have a good one, and I'll see you guys on Friday.